I stared at the text from my brother Ethan, my thumb frozen over the screen as the cab screeched to a halt outside Mercy General in downtown Chicago. Mom's surgery is tomorrow. Get here now. It's bad. My heart slammed like a freight train, but something in those words tasted off. Too clipped, too urgent for Ethan's usual bullshit charm. That's when I noticed the attachment. A blurry photo of Mom in a hospital bed, tubes snaking from her arm, her eyes closed like she'd already checked out. Except the timestamp was from last week, recycled from her pneumonia scare. By the time I burst through those swinging doors, reeking of prison sweat and cheap diner coffee, the truth hit harder than the shank I'd dodged in Cook County. This wasn't about Mom at all. It was the hook to reel me back into the family meat grinder, and Ethan was holding the line. The nurse at the desk blinked up at me like I'd just crawled out of a sewer, which, let's face it, I kinda had. 3 years inside for a crime that wasn't mine will do that to a girl. Genesis Hale? Room 407. But she's not here. Her voice dropped, eyes darting to the clipboard like it held state secrets. I snatched it, scanning the log. No Hale, Evelyn. No surgery scheduled. Just a scrawled note taped to the back. Meet me in the chapel. We need to talk. Ethan always did love the dramatic. Our family pew in that sterile chapel, pews that smelled like Lysol and regret, had been his stage since we were kids fighting over Dad's old Cubs cap. I shoved through the double doors, the air thick with candle wax, and whispered prayers from the night shift. There he was, slouched in the front row, suit crisp as a Wall Street shark's, tie loosened just enough to play the grieving son. "Jen," he said, standing slow, that salesman smile cracking at the edges. "You came. Where's Mom?" My voice came out gravelly, honed by cell block arguments. I hadn't seen her since the trial. Hadn't seen any of them, really, except the lawyers Ethan generously paid for. The ones who convinced the judge I was the mastermind behind the $2 million skim from Hale Investments, our family's legacy since Grandpa bootstrapped it post-depression. He sighed, theatrical as hell, rubbing his temples like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. Complications. They moved her to Northwestern. Private wing. It's touch and go. Bullshit. I could smell it. Same as the lies he'd fed me back when we were 20-somethings, him begging me to sign those routine transfer docs for the offshore accounts. Just cover for me, sis. One favor. You're the straight arrow. It'll look clean coming from you. I'd done it. Trusted him. Woke up in cuffs 2 weeks later, the feds raiding our loft in Wicker Park, headlines screaming Hale heiress flees with fortune. Ethan? He vanished to Europe, then slithered back as the prodigal son, restructuring the firm into Hale Global, raking in venture capital like candy from a piñata. Mom. She wrote me once, post-sentencing. Family sticks together, General, this too shall pass. Yeah, right. Now here we were, him all polished regret, me in my thrift store jeans and the faded tattoo of a phoenix on my wrist. A joke from juvie days, before I learned birds don't rise if you clip their wings first. Cut the crap, Ethan. What's this really about? He glanced at the crucifix looming over us, like it might absolve him. I need your help. One more time. The board's sniffing around old files, the audit trail. If they dig deep, it points back. Messy. His eyes flicked to mine, pleading. Sign this immunity deal. Testify it was all you. Solo act. Mom's treatments. Stop. I stepped closer, close enough to see the Botox lines around his eyes, the telltale twitch when he lied. You framed me. For this. I jabbed a finger at his chest, the silk of his shirt crumpling under my nail. You and her. Vanessa, his wife. The ice queen who'd married into the family 6 months after my arrest, fresh off her MBA from Wharton, with a biotech startup that Hale Global acquired overnight. She'd been the one auditing the books back then, his books. The one who'd whispered in Mom's ear about fresh blood for the company. Now she ran the show from their Gold Coast penthouse, all glass walls and power yoga, while I rotted. Ethan's face hardened, the mask slipping. You were always the weak link, General, too soft. Too honest. Van saw it, saw how to fix it. He straightened, towering now, the brother I'd idolized reduced to this, a cornered weasel in wingtips. But family's family. Help us, and you're in. Equity stake. New start. I laughed, bitter as black coffee. Equity? After you stole my life. My hand shot out, grabbing his lapel, yanking him close. Tell Mom I said hi. From the gutter. That's when the chapel doors banged open. Not gently, explosively, like a SWAT breach. Two suits in tactical vests stormed in, badges glinting. FBI. Ethan Hale. Hands up. You're under arrest for fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy too. He shoved me hard, using my body as a shield, my back slamming into the pew. Chaos erupted, shouts, the crack of a taser pronging the air. I hit the floor, skull ringing, tasting copper. Ethan bolted past, one of the agents clipping his heel. They tumbled in a heap, and in the scramble, a sleek black case skidded across the tiles toward me. Unzipped. Inside, vials of glowing blue serum, labeled Project Echo, neural sync prototype. Vanessa's pet project, some neural interface for enhanced cognition, FDA pending, but whispers in the yard said it was black market brain hacking shit. The chapel dissolved into a blur. An agent lunged for the case. I snatched a vial, instinct screaming weapon. Ethan twisted free, lunging at me, fists flying. The glass shattered in my grip, shards slicing my palm, the serum exploding in a misty bloom. It hit us both. Him, me, the air between. Time stretched, elastic, my vision fracturing like a dropped mirror. His face, my brother's face, warped, melting into mine, eyes wide with something beyond fear. Recognition? No. Horror. Then black. I woke to silk sheets and the hum of a city skyline beyond floor-to-ceiling windows. My body, not my body, ached in places I didn't know could ache. Manicured nails, Louboutins kicked off by the bed, a headache like I'd mainlined espresso. I bolted upright, staring at hands that weren't mine, long, elegant, ringed with a diamond the size of a knuckle. Vanessa's hands. Mirror across the room confirmed it. Her face stared back, all sharp cheekbones and Botox-smooth forehead, lips parted in my slack-jawed shock. What the fuck? The voice was hers, husky, commanding, but the words were mine, laced with South Side grit. I touched her face, feeling the unfamiliar pull of filler. Downstairs, the penthouse echoed with sirens, distant but closing. Ethan, my body, would be in cuffs by now, screaming about a freak accident in a stolen skin. That's when the phone buzzed on the nightstand. Mom's number. I answered, heart pounding. Jen? Thank God. Ethan's in trouble. The feds. They think it's him. But it's not. Come home. We fix this. Her voice, frail but steel-edged, the same one that had cooed me through nightmares as a kid. Except now it slithered, complicit. The swap wasn't random. It was engineered. And in this body, with Vanessa's access codes and Rolodex of sins, I had the keys to burn it all down. But first, revenge. Slow. American as apple pie and a loaded Glock. The penthouse was a fortress of glass and lies, perched on Lakeshore Drive like a middle finger to the working stiffs below. I paced in Vanessa's Lululemon set, too tight, too expensive, piecing it together from the fragments in her desk drawer, encrypted drives, burner phones, a dossier on me. Genesis Hale, Patsy extraordinaire. The serum? Not a prototype fluke. Project Echo was her baby, funded off Hale black money, designed to transfer executive stress via neural mapping. But the fine print? Irreversible swaps under duress. Adrenaline spikes, like a chapel brawl with feds. Ethan had planned it. Use Mom's illness as bait, lure me in, trigger the swap during confrontation. Why? Insurance. If the feds closed in, he'd wake up in my body. Ex-con. No ties. Easy to vanish as crazy Jen Vanessa. She'd play the grieving widow, CEO intact. Mom. The silent architect, her treatments, a slush fund for their escape to Cayman accounts. I laughed into the void, the sound echoing off marble counters. Trust me, folks back home in the joint would have called this poetic justice. But this was biblical. I cracked the safe. Vanessa's yoga flow had loosened the tumblers. 743, her wedding date, and pulled the Glock. Registered, of course, to Hale Global's security detail, loaded with hollow points. First call, not Mom. Her lawyer, Elliot Grange, silver fox with a Rolodex thicker than his ethics. Mrs. Hale? The police just released Mr. Hale, your brother-in-law, under your recognizance. Some mix-up with the chapel incident. He's en route. My body, shambling home in zip ties and confusion. Good. Prep the board meeting for dawn. Full audit. And Elliot? Leaked the prelims to the Tribune. Anonymous source. He hesitated. Vanessa never bluffed. As you wish. By 3 a.m., Ethan arrived, pounding the elevator code like a drunk fumbling keys. I met him in the foyer, arms crossed, her posture screaming boardroom bitch. He froze, my own face staring back slack and bruised, eyes wild. Van? What the Jen? Holy shit, it's you. Surprise, little brother. I stepped aside, letting him stumble in. He looked ridiculous in my frame. 6 inches shorter, broader in the hips, the phoenix tap peeking from a too-tight cuff. Like the new threads? Armani on a C-cup. Classy. He lunged, clumsy, fists swinging wide. I sidestepped. Vanessa's Pilates paid off, and drove an elbow into his gut. He wheezed, doubling over. This wasn't. Mom said it'd wear off. 24 hours, tops. I hauled him up by the collar, slamming him against the Picasso knockoff on the wall. Mom. Right. The same mom who signed the consent forms for Echo? Who rerouted the skimmed funds to her charity, your offshore nest egg? I shoved the dossier into his chest. Pages fluttered. Emails, wire transfers. Her signature on the framed job affidavit. His eyes, my eyes, darted, calculating. Always the hustler. Jen, listen. We can fix this. Swap back. Van's lab, prototypes. I forgive the board call. Say it was a hack. Forgive. I backhanded him, the slap ringing like a courtroom gavel. Lip split, my lip, but who cared? You stole 3 years. My bar license. My goddamn life. For what? To play kingpin with your Stepford wife? He slumped, sliding down the wall, tears streaking my mascara. It was her idea. The swap. Mom. She was dying for real back then. Cancer. Stage 4. We needed the money, fast. You were clean. It'd stick. Lies layered on lies. But the hook caught. Mom's pneumonia? Cover for chemo she hid. Treatments Hale couldn't afford post-dad's crash. Ethan, spiraling on coke and bad bets, skimmed to pay. Vanessa audited, saw the rot, proposed the frame. Pin it on me, the troubled sister fresh off a messy divorce. They'd flee, fund her experimental cure with dirty cash. Mom lived, miracle drug from Echo trials, but the betrayal festered. Touching. I spat, holstering the Glock in her yoga drawer. But you're done playing victim. I dragged him to the study, zip-tying his wrists to the Eames chair. Laptop open, I initiated the trace. Every server, every shell company. Fingers flying over keys. Vanessa's admin access was God mode. I funneled it all to the cloud, tagged for the SEC. Controversial? Hell yes. This wasn't justice. It was scorched earth. Families like ours didn't get therapy. We got graveyards. Dawn broke bloody over the lake. The boardroom a coliseum of oak and entitlement. I strode in as Vanessa Hale, power suit hugging curves I didn't earn, entourage trailing with coffees and NDAs. The suits, old money vultures in Hermes, murmured as I took the head. Gentlemen, ladies, Hale Global's built on sand. Time to drain the swamp. Slides clicked, ledgers bleeding red. Ethan's emails to Vanessa about the sister fix. Mom's signatures on ghost charities. Gasps rippled. This is libel, barked Carl Withers, the fossil who'd greenlit the acquisition. Vanessa what? Proof. I slid the drive across. FBI gets it at noon unless you vote dissolution. Assets liquidated. Pensions intact for the little guys. Murmurs turned to outrage. One exec, a token diversity hire named Lena, leaned in. This tanks us all. Jobs. Your husband's empire. My brother's. The word hung, controversial as a leaked affair. They didn't know the swap, but the implication landed. Fratricide in pinstripes. Votes tallied. 8-4 for shutdown. I walked out to sirens. The penthouse cordoned. Ethan still trussed like a Thanksgiving turkey. But the real gut punch waited in the garage. Mom's Cadillac idled. Her frail form at the wheel. Chemo wig askew. Jen? Or Van? She squinted through the tint, voice cracking. Ethan called. Said you went rogue. I slid into the passenger seat, Glock heavy in my purse. It's me, Mom. Your spare parts daughter. The car peeled out, weaving toward the Dan Ryan, horns blaring. Why? After everything. Dad's death. The business. You let them bury me. Tears carved rivers down her cheeks, hands white-knuckled on the wheel. You were strong, baby. Stronger than us. Ethan. He broke after the funeral. Bets. Girls. The bottle. Van promised a cure. Echo could map healthy minds, transfer resilience. But it needed a trigger. A fall guy. Me. The resilient one, scapegoated to fund her salvation. And the swap? Ethan's escape hatch. She nodded, merging onto the expressway, Chicago's sprawl blurring. Contingency. If it unraveled. But now, you're her. Powerful. Fix it quiet. For family. The exit loomed. Her old oncologist's clinic, off Michigan Avenue. One last treatment, she murmured. Swap back. End this. Tempting. But as the skyline shrank in the rear view, doubt gnawed. Power thrummed in this skin. Networks, alibis, the thrill of the knife's edge. What if I didn't want out? What if revenge meant wearing the monster's face forever? We pulled up to the lab annex, floodlights harsh on concrete. Vanessa's team, white coats with NDAs, waited, machines humming like hungry beasts. Ethan was there too, freed by Mom's pull, my body pacing in a borrowed hoodie. Jen, thank Christ. Strap in, reverse protocols ready. I stepped out, air crisp with lake wind, Mom's hand on my arm. Do it for me, she whispered. Lies or love? The line blurred. Inside, the chamber loomed, a MRI coffin wired for souls. I lay back, electrodes kissing temples, the hum building to a whine. Ethan's face, mine, hovered above, pleading. Sis, please. We're all we've got. The serum coursed, blue fire in veins. Vision splintered again, his regret mirroring mine. But as the swap tugged, pulling me toward the light, toward me, I saw it. The override code on the console. One tap, and it locked. Permanent. My finger twitched. Controversial? World-ending. But fuck family. This was mine now. The whine peaked, a siren's wail shredding nerves, and for a split second, I was adrift. Neither Genesis nor Vanessa, just raw will in the void. Ethan's eyes locked on mine through the glass, wide with the animal panic of a man staring down his own abyss. No, Jen, don't. Too late. Vanessa's hand, slick with gel, slapped the console. Override engaged. Alarms blared, red lights strobing like a Vegas bust gone wrong. The team scrambled, white coats yanking cables, but the machine locked down, servos whining in protest. The pull reversed, not gentle, a violent yank, slamming me deeper into this shell. Her memories flickered at the edges, boardroom conquests, Ethan's clumsy proposals, Mom's whispered confessions over chamomile tea. Not mine, but close enough to borrow. I ripped free, IVs snapping, staggering upright in a tangle of wires. Ethan pounded the glass, my old voice muffled and shrill. You bitch. Reverse it. Mom, do something. Mom. She stood frozen by the door, face ashen under the fluorescence, the weight of decades crumpling her. Genesis. What? I straightened, smoothing the lab coat over scrubs, tasting power like bourbon on the tongue. Because you built this cage, Mom. All of you. And I'm not the bird anymore. Security burst in, my security now, dragging Ethan back, his struggles futile in my slight frame. Hold him. Full cavity search. And call the feds, tell him they're patsies ready to sing. The chamber afterglow left me buzzing, synapses firing on stolen fuel. Vanessa's mind was a Rolodex of ruthless. Contacts in D.C., hackers in Eastern Europe, a private jet fueled at O'Hare. I claimed the corner office by noon. The board's dissolution papers shredded in the industrial shredder. Poetic, watching empires chew themselves up. Press swarmed the lobby. Tribune headlines screaming hail heiress in heist shocker. Insider sabotage? I fed them scraps. Ethan's coke-fueled rants. Mom's charitable diversions. Controversial leaks, sure, ruining reputations, torching retirements. But in America, truth's just the first casualty in the war for the narrative. Ethan cracked first, in the basement holding cell hail global kept for discreet negotiations. I descended in heels that clicked like verdict hammers, flanked by goons in ill-fitting suits. He looked small in my body, hunched on the cot, tracksuit sagging. Jen, this ain't you. You're the good one. The fixer. I perched on the steel table, crossing legs that weren't mine, the Glock casual in lap. Good got me 3 hots and a cot, Ethan. This. I gestured to the tailored blouse, the manicure. This gets results. Interrogation 101, yard style, break am slow. Tell me about the cure. Mom's miracle. Echo wasn't just a swap toy, was it? He swallowed, Adam's apple bobbing in my throat. Experimental. Stem cells, neural grafts. Van sourced at black market. Chinese labs, no trials. Worked on mom. Mostly. Side effects. Dementia creeping. That's why the frame. Needed more cash, fast. Dementia. The word landed like a gut punch. Mom's forgetfulness. Mixing up birthdays, staring blank at family albums. Not age. Poison from the fix. And me? The trigger for your getaway. Collateral. He spat it. Defiant now, my old fire in his eyes. You'd understand if you weren't playing dress up. Family first, General always was. I chambered around, the click echoing off cinder blocks. Controversial? Leaning into the abyss, finger itching on the trigger. Prison taught mercy's a luxury, survival's the bill. But blood, our blood, thickened the air. One chance. Confess. On camera. Full board rundown, mom's role, the works. Or I paint this wall with your brains, my brains, and walk as the widow who avenged her hubby's suicide. He laughed, broken glass. Do it. Be the monster. But mom knows. She's coming. With proof. Proof. The word hung as I left him trust, the cell door clanging like a guillotine. Upstairs, the penthouse waited, redecorated in my head already. No more sterile whites, something raw, lived in. Mom arrived at dusk, chauffeured Bentley purring to a halt, her driver dismissed with a frail wave. She entered like a ghost, shawl slipping from shoulders, eye sharp despite the chemo pallor. Genesis. We need to talk. Alone. Kitchen island, bottle of Napa cab poured. Vanessa's vintage, irony thick. The swap's permanent, I said, sliding her a glass. Ethan's spilling. Feds inbound. She sipped, steady. Good. It ends. Then, casual as cream and coffee. I pulled the trigger on the frame, you know. Not them. Me. The room tilted. I gripped the counter, quartz-biting palms. What? Her smile was Dad's, crooked, unyielding. After he died. Crash on the Ike. Black ice they said, but I knew. Booze. Your father drowned the numbers. General Hale was hemorrhaging. Ethan was spiraling you. Dreaming of law school, pro bono dreams. Soft. I couldn't lose another. She set the glass down, fingers tracing the stem. Vanessa came with the plan. Frame you. Clean record, no priors. Skim enough for echo, cure myself. Swap as backup if you ever clawed back. Clawed back. Like I was the villain in her script. You let them bury me. For you. Survival. She met my gaze, unflinching. America's meritocracy's a myth, baby. It's who you bury. But here's the twist. The crash? I spiked his flask. One too many nights of business. Mercy kill, before he tanked us all. The world inverted. Dad, not accident, but matricide. Mom, the architect, not victim. Ethan and Vanessa. Pawns in her long game. The serum, the frame, the swap. All threads in Evelyn Hale's web. I'd avenged the wrong ghosts. Rage boiled, hot as indictments. I drew the Glock, barrel kissing her temple, her wig askew. Why tell me now? Redemption. She didn't flinch, just reached into her purse, slow, deliberate, pulling a vial. Blue serum, twin to the chapels. Reverse it. Be you again. Take the fall, or the fortune, your call. But in the cycle. Or become me. Finger trembled. Controversial climax. Matricide in a penthouse, echoing Dad's end. Or mercy, swapping back to the gutter, letting feds devour the empire. Debates in my head, justice or vengeance. Family or self. America whispered both, in the same breath. Sirens wailed distant, closing. Ethan's screams from below, Vanessa's ghost in the mirror. Mom's eyes pleaded, mirrors of mine. I squeezed. Not the trigger, the vial. It shattered in my fist, serum dripping harmless. No cycle, I whispered, holstering the gun. New game. Feds breached at midnight, headlines twisting. Hale matriarch confesses empire of lies. Mom in cuffs, dignified. Ethan, broken, flipping for immunity. Me? I vanished into the night, Vanessa's passport in hand. Jet to who knows where. Bahamas? Berlin? A beach with no extradition, building something untainted. But in quiet moments, sunsets over turquoise, waves licking imported sand, the doubt lingers. Did I win? Or just trade cages, wearing her skin, her sins? Family's a scar, they say. This one's mine to pick. And if I ever swap back? Nah, the monster fits too well.